Welcome back, everybody, to WCS EU Challenger, where we are getting ready for our next series, ZvZ, this time between Snute and Bly. Very important series. Top 4 is on the line.
Yeah, and I think Snute should be the heavy favorite, but I've mentioned that Bly is not one of those guys that you should sleep on and count out ever, especially not in ZvZ. He's had some crazy runs before. Remember, I think he was over at Dreamhack Leipzig, where he had a very deep run that consisted of wins versus, I think it was Violet and Hydra, both of them.
Yep, quarterfinals and semifinals. You are spot on. I remember that. That was a great performance for Bly. Let's see how he does today. I can see quite impressed with Bly already making it this far. I wouldn't necessarily have put him above Austin, but he was able to eliminate him. Over here on the left up side, looking at the main base of our Norwegian Zerk, it is Snute.
His opponent in the blue, he's known for his aggression, and guess what? He's already opening with an extractor and pull. It is Bly.
Bly on fire. He definitely has been on fire. He played great in the open qualifier as well. He was not somebody that came through the ladder qualifier like Snute. For the people who wonder how does this work exactly, how do you qualify for this tournament? Well, there's two ways, technically three, but you can finish top 8 on the ladder. Very difficult, but Snute was one of them. Harstem, Serral, Showtime, Elaser, Nemchar and TLO, they all made it, and Uthermal, through placing top 8 in the Grandmaster League ladder. And then a couple days ago we had 2 open qualifiers. Bly made it on the first day. One is deciding series against Mana, looked really good. We qualified 4 people through open qualifier 1, and obviously 4 people through open qualifier number 2 as well. And that's how we ended up with these 16 guys. We lost a couple yesterday, but
I think it's so funny when you do that. Like, you say something and then you correct yourself right after. And like, it just gave me a flashback of over at Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, when you were casting a Terran and you were like, oh, name one more Terran who could have done this. And they were like, well, actually, there's Baru, Innovation. And then you start listing like 5 of them. And Otto's is backstage, like, explained this to me, and he was just dying. He thought it was so funny.
Yeah, it's because like sometimes you get carried away, you know, you're like, oh my god, this is so good, but then you also don't want to fall the other players short, you know. It's like, okay, that's kind of unfair to say that this guy's the only guy that can do it, because, you know, you have a couple of the world-class Terrans out there.
Look at his links. A bunch of ninjas sneaked past the Overlord's attention here so far. Finally, 2 are going to be spotted. And Snute was already making links. He must have somehow sensed that this could be coming.
Yeah, could
better safe than sorry against Bly, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's one of these moments where you don't want to open up hatch first and then only make drones and delay your pull.
Yeah, Snute sees there is no hatchery on the natural of Bly, so it's going to be that defense that he can either get and win the game or cannot defend and then loses.
Oh, this is going to be quite explosive. We know that the queens are going to be very important. That one queen pops, and this attack hits so fast.
He gets an inject, I guess.
Well, yeah. Well, that's literally the only thing it got. Nice SimCity, though, with a Spine Crawler and an Evo Chamber as well. But these Banelings will still sneak in. How big will the explosion be? It's decent, but I think that Bly needs more than that, Todd.
Yeah, Snute is still ahead in walkers. Bly, though, he has speed, whereas it's nowhere in sight here for Snute, who's going to have to rely on queens and Banelings to try and hold on against this.
But since
his natural base might be forfeit.
Yeah, but Bly actually doesn't want to settle for just the natural. Bly wants more, and he's hoping for one more big connection with his Banes. One of them gets awfully close to the jackpot, and the second one gets 6 drones and a few more. This is disastrous. I think this could very well be it. Snute with only 3 drones left. And
struggling to split here against these Banelings. I'm a little bit surprised. I don't think that this should have done this much, but Snute messed up big time.
Wow, this one Bane that just hit the jackpot connection. At that point, you know, Snute has 1 drone, Todd.
And he's broke as well behind this. Like, he doesn't have the minerals to start a lot of drones.
This guy out there is wondering. Snute is going to try to defend, but I think Snute knows it, that this is over, Todd. Yeah. There's no... I mean, 2 hatcheries against
Bly
1.
really wanted to finish the game, but he's like, all right, well, I guess if you have 3 drones, I might as well make some myself and expand.
I mean, Bly can just also keep making units because he has so much more income. And yes, he has to worry about the Spine and the Queen.
And the Banelings, though, I don't think he can make more units because of them.
Snute is trying to double his economy. It's not a good sign.
Just grew by 10%.
No, by 50 or 100. Doubled it. Spine takes a lot of damage. Good transfer. I mean, really good ult by Snute. Gotta give it to him, but this is just unfair because Bly...
I thought Snute had more walkers.
No, yeah, he lost 2 more right after that, so... He's 2 drones. If Snute makes this comeback happen, Todd, I will declare this as the greatest comeback that StarCraft 2 has ever seen. The one drone comeback. I think everybody out there is cheering for Snute to make this happen, but... Does he have another
Snute is not available.
No. Okay, well. 14 supply, 2 Banes against 1. That's the only thing, but Snoot's gonna need the Dream connection. Spy doesn't want to give it to him, and during all of this, Snute is still only on 2 drones. I like the never give up spirit here that we see. Wow, that's really good, but yeah, more Links show up. GG, Bly takes game number 1 of Link Bane aggression of this 12 pool opening that he went for. And he just got the connections that he's looking for, straight and simple, right?
This is what we expected from this series as well, like Snute going a little bit more on the defensive, Bly going on the offensive. I'm not familiar with Snute messing up this bad though against attacks that he knows are coming and are this clear. The lack of split on the drones is a little bit worrying. I hope he's feeling it going into the series because he looked like he was not in the zone there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not because Snute can split. Obviously he can, but I think he was caught off guard by this one happy Baneling that sneaked through. And I think he was simply too late. Like, the pool was too late.
Happy Baneling?
Yeah, I mean, that was a very happy Bane because he squeezed by and he went behind enemy lines. And he got what he was looking for. And the moment that
he blew himself up. How can a Baneling be happy? Well, I guess that's their duty. Right?
No, that's their duty. They did it for the team. That's
for Valhalla.
That's a team effort right there. Which advantage does Showtime have? None. Nope. Just letting Naruto know, a German caster, that there is no advantage for Showtime. Whoever will make it out of the lower bracket is just going to play a single best of 5. There is technically a advantage though, because that is that Serral has to go up against whoever, you know, comes out of the lower bracket, and then it's obviously a big series. So if you win the upper bracket, then you don't take the risk of actually finishing top 3. So he guarantees himself a top 2 finish, which is an advantage, but there is no direct advantage in the overall final. Trolling Naruto. Poor German caster. Naruto works so hard. Like, we always, like, we give shout-outs to Emil, and we know that he's super passionate for Polish community.
Naruto doesn't work anything.
Yeah, Naruto is doing...
He casts video games for a living. He hasn't worked a day in his life, as far as I'm concerned.
This poor guy is always sitting on that couch by himself, looking around. I don't know if he has a co-caster today, but if there's anybody that's putting in the hours...
That's because he's antisocial. Like.
No, he's a great guy, and I have a lot of respect for the work he does, you know. It's also... Like, people often compare it to, like, one person casts a lot at home, but I think it's very different when you sit on the studio lights and you actually have to travel to work. It's definitely a little more demanding than doing it from your bedroom. So I have a lot of admiration for...
Doesn't he live like 5 minutes from
Yeah,
TV?
he does live pretty close. But it's he's sitting in the studio, you work with a producer. It's still different than being at home. You know that, Todd. Come on.
Well, of course it is. I've talked many times about wanting to be at home in my boxers when I do my playing.
Alrighty, over here on the right bottom side, looking in the main base of our Liquid Zerg. He's down 0-1. It's Snute. Snute says, anything you can do, I can do just as good, if not better.
His opponents going for the exact same builds. It is Bly. Why is that shark always there in the start, or?
I think it's like, I think they waited the shadow. I don't know, actually. This is just me guessing, but maybe...
Is he stuck?
Yeah. He doesn't swim in the beginning. Are we really doing this? Are we zooming into the shark? He looks at the 12 pool and he's like, well, there we go. He's like, ah, if links come out, I want to start moving. Maybe he actually, since the bodies float up on Abyssal, maybe he's the one who catches it.
See these bubbles behind him?
He's like, oh,
sick.
Fresh meat. He's like, I can't wait for those links to die.
Fresh meat?
Yeah, he'll pick up all the corpses. You know, they float up.
He's not a hyena, mate.
No,
this is a shark.
Yeah, he's dead. Right. Speed is on the way, both sides, and Baneling Nest as well. So this is as much of a mirror as one could be. Obviously, Snute wants to fight on his side of the map.
Game paused.
You're so sick.
There has to be a purpose for the shark.
Oh my god.
He's the vacuum cleaner of the ocean. Make sure.
He's just like decoration, really.
That could be too, but I always like to think there's more than that.
That's a big tank, at least, that he's in, right?
Yeah. It's a pretty big map. It's a planet. The entire planet is him.
An entire reef.
Yeah. Snute is pausing the game. seems to be having issues with some lag spikes. Hopefully it disappears soon. Obviously we're just playing these games on the European server, but both of them are in Europe. And normally that Norwegian internet is supposed to be pretty good, Todd. Surprised.
Well, normally French are supposed to be pretty good at operating trains, but they're always on strike. What do you know, man?
You've got a pretty solid train network, though. You can't really complain about public transport living in France.
I live in Germany, first of all,
Yeah.
and then they're always on strike.
I think there is many countries in the world where their civilians would trade anything they have to have the public transport that France has. Your cities are incredibly well connected. For such a big country, it's pretty good.
It depends where you go. Like if you live in the south, it gets trickier. Sometimes you want to go to like the center of France, you have to go through the north and then back down.
Alright. Still waiting for Snute. Hopefully we can continue this best of 5. This is our third one of the day. Of course,
Yeah.
after this, we're going to have Nurcho versus the winner of this one. And the winner of Nurcho versus the winner of this one will play against Sero. And the winner of that series will go up against Showtime.
And the winner of that series
It's done.
is going to be the champion.
WCS EU Challenger Champ. You can put it on your resume.
They're playing it differently, by the way. As much as they're going for the same build, Snute so far has been hiding all lanes at home, whereas Bly is going around the overlords that are going to be headed for him on the map. So it's going to be Bly is going for the exact same build. I think Snute's counting on that.
Yeah.
It's like he wants to kill his first few links, maybe.
Exactly. I mean, if you fight defensively, there's a good chance that Snute can maybe get a fight with 8 links against 6. And that's obviously the defender's advantage that you have going for yourself. So I think he's indeed exactly counting on it. Bly setting out a question mark, wondering what's going on. How much longer will this take? You
It's
know.
a long lag.
Yeah, I know. And it's also very uncharacteristic to see Snute. So if I guess he's all tapped, maybe he's like running a test or something. That's probably what's happening. Because normally Snute is pretty much the most polite guy that you'll see. He does have a little bit of fire in him. Like Snute, it takes a lot for Snute to dislike anybody.
I've never heard him break.
Break?
Yeah, like you know,
Snap?
tilt, yeah, snap.
There are some times where there was a time where he's very unhappy against Protoss and he left a couple times, or he would make sarcastic comments, kind of like how Idra said.
Yeah.
Making carriers is a useful skill to have. Snute let a couple of those comments slip over the years, but we're gonna forgive him for that because he's such a nice guy.
Nobody's perfect, right?
No.
Certainly not us.
When you play this game full time since 2010, 2011, eventually you're going to run into some frustration. That's only normal. Still waiting for an update of Snute. As soon as we know something, we'll let you guys know, obviously. But yeah, there isn't, you know. We can take a look at the bracket, guys, so while we're waiting here. I can show you guys some of the games that you perhaps missed over the last few days. Snute is actually writing in game right now saying he's testing something. Would be a shame to see Snute suffer. But these are some of the things that have happened. We saw Stefano put up a really good fight against Sero. We didn't cast those games, but I'd love to see the replays, actually. Stefano taking 2 maps to Sero, I think that's really quite impressive. And TLO with his dominant victory earlier on. Unfortunately, he couldn't continue his hot streak, but also getting 2 map wins over Sero. That's funny, right? Because when we saw Sero ZvZ against Snute, it looked super good.
Yeah. TLO maybe a little bit unfortunate with the draw. Kind of like DNS, you know, getting Showtime round 1. That's pretty tough.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at DNS's run, the only players he lost is Showtime and Nurcho. That's normally you'd say that's nothing to be ashamed of. Unfortunately for the French Protoss, it was not enough to go top 4. This is the entire lower bracket. Obviously, we are right now all the way on the right top side. Watching Snute versus Bly. Score is 1-0 in favor of our Ukrainian Zerg.
Before the match, if somebody had asked you, who do you think is going to win, like, you know, like say like, you know, 60-40 or something, what number would you have given and for who in Snute against Bly?
Yeah, I would say 65-35 in favor of Snute. Maybe even a 70-30. I mean, Snute did lose against Sero, but I mean, it's ZvZ, so you can't really go more extreme than 70%, I feel, especially not when Bly is involved. Because
70% is pretty extreme.
yeah, that's, so I think 65. I still feel good about Snute. If I would have picked Snute, and I still feel good about it. Snute says, okay, let's try. We apologize, guys, for the small hold-up. Obviously, that's out of our control. It happens with online competition sometimes. But hopefully there will be no lag, because we want to see the best of Snute. That's what makes us happy.
I want to see his best, for sure. Not that I've seen his worst. Snute has always been really consistent actually over the years. Like there's been a few tournaments where he struggled a little bit more, but he never really lost like against way lesser players. Maybe the one time was like against Guru, but you can't even really say that because Guru is like such a beast on ladder and plays so much.
Yeah, the only thing that you can hold against Snute is that he didn't win a WCS championship in that 1 year where it was Pold winning in Porsche and Hydra winning Season 2 and Lilba winning Season 3. Because I kind of felt at the beginning of 2015, Snute was pretty much the hottest player out there. And I really felt that this format back then, you know, with the region lock and a lot of the Koreans moving home, I thought it was going to be fantastic for Snute. And I really thought he was going to pick up at least one WCS championship.
You know what he won though? WCS Copa Intercontinental, that was sick.
Yeah, that was a great tournament.
With an insane performance too.
Yeah, in his Link Bane style, that was one of the first times we saw that amount of Banes. Snute scouts and he sees these 4 links from Bly, which is exactly what he was expecting. Bly would have loved to see a hatchery again. There is no hatchery. Speed is even done yet. There is a spine. Look at how like normally this is never supposed to work because they're doing the same thing. It's a decent connection for Bly, and Snute has defender's advantage and he's getting a spine, so already we see drones on the other side of the map, and that makes a lot of sense.
I see Bly going on the aggressive here. Even though there is a spine crawler, he's gonna try to get a detonation with that Baneling. Not gonna get anything done with this.
This is no way, right? Like,
oh, Snute forced the detonation from one Bane across the map, which was just one single link. And actually behind this, oh, he gets the second one, so it's going to be a ton of links left over to get a surround against that Queen. That's a huge win here for Snute. Bly immediately restarts the Queen, but the production is going to be far superior for Snute behind this, who's already ahead in walkers.
Oh, and that Bane is morphing. He's surrounding it with drones. That's so risky. Will he get it in time, Todd? Oh my god. Wow. The Hurt Locker. You seen that movie?
Yes, I have.
That's what these drones were, right there. That's crazy.
And now Snute is gonna very comfortably expand behind this. He already has 2 Banelings, and actually Bly, I'm worried that he sends all of his links at once up that ramp. In which case, he's gonna go kaboom.
Bly has to be careful, runs into 2 Banes.
Well, the rocks almost went down with this.
That's actually a little silly there. That Queen doesn't have anything for the Queen.
Why was the Queen there?
I don't know. Maybe he felt he was safe with the 2 Banes, but the 2 Banes got a disconnection. If Snute ends up losing the hatch here, that would be quite disastrous.
Yeah, I mean, Bly's not expanding behind this.
Bly morphing. Excuse me, Snute's morphing. I mean, Bly getting a cancel there. That at least evens things up. Snute obviously got himself in a sweet position with that little skirmish in the main of Bly. But now things are quite even. Oh, we see the evolution chamber. We see an Evo chamber for Snute as well. I'm a little bit surprised by that. I think there is like a 95% chance that this Overlord is going to morph into a Dropperlord eventually. So we know that Bly loves to elevate 1 or 2 links into the main.
Or 8.
Yeah, and then morph a couple of them into Bane links.
Ooh, nice turnaround here with that one Baning from Bly. Still applying pressure on that second base. Oh, nice bait. Sent all the links in, then at the last second pulled back some of them.
Snute with his quick +1, and Bly indeed using his Overlord to morph it into a Dropperlord. And it's very, very important that Snute picks up on this, because if 4 Banelings run into this mineral line, Todd, it's such an oversaturated mineral line as well, that the damage is going to be catastrophic.
Snute is overdroning quite a bit instead of making units there.
Snute. The Dropperlord of Bly. This is what Bly did. You mentioned Dreamhack Leipzig against Violet and Hydra. He did it multiple times in those games. Still doing it. This is Bly as well, you know. He's showing units on the low ground. So Snute is going to pay attention to the low ground. He's not going to look into his main base. Here are these Banes. A couple of drones have been at least sent to long distance mining, so that's good news.
Do you think he reacts on time?
No, I don't think so, because I think that Bly is going to be very smart in distracting him.
Baneling.
Keeping a close enemy map. Here come these Banes from Bly from both angles. Could have been worse, actually.
Yeah, like that was quite bad on the left-hand side in particular. He's just going to trade Banelings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth it, right?
Well, I mean, I kind of feel that the Spine would have taken care of it, so...
Oh, it's Snute behind. He's going to be droning.
No, that was not good enough for Bly.
The way I look at it, he could have lost a whole lot more drones if he fell. So.
That's wrong. Still gave away a couple of Banes there.
+1 missile starting for Bly. The roles are reversed. Bly wants to play roaches apparently down the line, whereas Snute is getting the +1 melee finishing now.
He doesn't have his roaches yet. Now Snute also moving up.
That's a brave drone. Still starts the hatchery.
Ignored all these Banes that were morphing over here on the left side. Snute with his 2 Banes as well. It's gonna try to get a good connection, but the best he can hope for is 2 for 2 probably. With this finder as well, I don't think this is gonna be very successful for Bly at all. Nope, all these Banes didn't get much done other than these few links. 2 links is also not enough to force a cancel here.
Bodies everywhere. Where's the shark to pick them up?
Shark is getting well fed, Todd, don't worry.
How do you know?
29 links, 42 links. You think he would miss all of that? All this blood in the water? That's what he's trained for. He's a shark, Todd.
He eats people and animals. Not Zerglings, mate.
So layer for Bly on the way. Ro16 also more than halfway done. Snute is also getting his +1 missile attacks, but look at the amount of links. He's probably aware of the fact that Bly has been investing a lot in all this aggression. Didn't necessarily get the damage done. So
And he has the +1.
Yeah.
It's even more encouraging to go for the aggression.
So it's very likely that Bly is obviously going to drone up here.
He gets a queen with just a couple links there.
Yeah, this is great. I think Bly is going to struggle.
It would be great from Snute if he had gone for a drop lord himself, I think, because Bly really wouldn't have been ready. But
Bly's
in this case, he's not anyway.
Bly's going to lose a lot of drones, though. There's no way around it. These +1 links, they will take care of all these drones. That queen is going to fall as well. Where are the roaches? Feels like they take forever when you truly need them.
Hey, he's not even getting that many. It's just a 3 with 1 more on the way.
Yeah, that might actually not even be enough. That's
You
good.
could snipe the Ro16 quite easily.
I think this could very well be it. Like, yeah, the Ro16 is super exposed. That queen is going to fall as well. These 3 roaches are a little bit out of position. Bly's going to make a few more links, but this counter-attack from Snute was devastating. And even though he has +1 missile attacks on the way and a Ro16 and a layer, doesn't need any of that, Todd. These links will seal the deal. And they're going to even up this game.
Very
GG.
solid by Snute here. Saying to Bly, you want to play this kind of game with me? Let's do it. I'm going to do the same build as you and kill you. And he does just that.
Yeah, it was very solid. Almost everything, I think, from Snute was solid. Other than that 1 queen he kind of forgot about. And the Dropper Lord caught him off guard a little bit. But as bad as 7 drones sound, you know, Snute already did damage on the other side of the map where, you know, he counted before. So he was in a position where he could have lost a couple. And at that point, he still had a fully saturated main. So it was good enough.
I don't know what it is, man. It keeps going down, that chair. I'm too heavy.
I mean, it's not as bad as what happened to me in Katowice.
What's happened?
You remember? The little stool that I was sitting on. It broke. The bottom side, it broke.
Oh, yeah.
And you're dying.
I've been warning you, man. These kebabs, they start to add up at some points.
Yeah. You know, the last few Homestead Cups, I actually kind of behaved. I really didn't eat any kebabs at all.
How many?
No, 0. The last one.
Really?
Yeah, I just didn't feel like a kebab that time. But yesterday I was unstoppable. Yesterday I was too hungry.
How many have you had since you came to Cologne?
2. Yeah.
Not too bad.
I know, for like a 4-day stay.
We're gonna make that 3 tonight, though, aren't we?
No, tonight we're going schnitzel again.
That's worse for health.
Well, it's not about what's worse for health. It's like, compare like how bad it
What's
is
good
to
for
the
your taste buds.
Yeah, that's, and you have seen those German schnitzel stuff. The Germans do a lot of things right, and schnitzel is absolutely one of them. Can't say no to that.
Are you going to the good place?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's open till 1 a.m. I already sent out my informant to scout. And I got positive news back. So even if we get a bunch of 2 3s, 3 2s, I'm getting a schnitzel.
It's going to be a personal victory. Yeah, Snute, very good job. Last game, I wonder, like, build otherwise. Do you think this is something he does one time where he tries to, like, kind of like surprise Bly with and then from there play small standard? Or?
I mean, this was almost as much of a blind counter as one thing can be, right? Because he was doing the exact same thing and he was getting a spine. Well, he didn't even scout yet. Obviously, the Overlord eventually saw the hatch and maybe he could have cancelled the spine, but Snute was absolutely banking on the fact that Bly was going to do this again, and Bly did.
But I feel like people should do that more anyway. Like, I really think it's wrong when like people play against Bly and like they get surprised by his aggression and attacks. I'm like,
but this game,
is this for real?
But this game, I think Bly is actually going to go like hatch first. Bly is someone who switches it up in a series like this, and he will use his image to his own advantage. If he would have done it in game 2, that could have played out great for him.
He would have died to his own build.
No, he wouldn't.
All right, let's jump into it, guys. We are on Nuclear Precinct Tournament Edition Void. And in the bottom left-hand side of the map, playing as the Red Zerg, it is Snute.
Once again, going gas, pool, 12 supply. And I thought he was going to switch it up, Todd. But I was wrong. A Ukrainian Zerg He's been on fire for such a long time that we can very well call it a grease fire. It's Bly.
Talking about kebabs again, or I can't even tell.
No. Grease fires are very hard to extinguish. It's not easy to put them out. So let's see if Bly is gonna fall for the same thing as what happened last game, where Snute was obviously ready to deal with his early game aggression.
Yeah, I mentioned that I thought Snute might go into normal now, and I think that's what Bly might have been counting on. He's like, well, he did it this one time, probably will go back to normal build now, let's punish him one more time. Except, Snute is not going for normal.
We're actually gonna have 2 more ZvZs after that. There's no way around it. For some reason I didn't think about that before, but obviously the winner of this series will go up against King Arthur, Nurchill, and the winner of that series will go up against Cyril. So that's guaranteed at least 8 ZvZs, but a good chance for a whole lot more.
These ZvZs, man, I know it's your favorite matchup. Drogo, which is US casting here too.
Drogo is actually like, he said, like, I want to go to bed in Korea. It's like 4 AM for Drogo, but he's like, no. I know there are ZvZs being played somewhere, and I'm going to catch all of them. That's why we love Drogo. He's a passionate individual.
I like the base that Snute goes for every time with the spawning pool, leaving a small space for the queen to set up there.
Yeah, it makes it a lot harder for the links to get the wraparound. This time Snute is sending out his links. He's not as convinced that Bly is going for the exact same thing as he was before. But he spots the link, so he kind of knows by now. Bly does have 2 links on the other side of the map, or am I crazy? No, actually he doesn't. He sent them back.
No, they died.
The links died?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Because those were 2
There might not be a shock, but there were bodies.
They would have loved to morph into Banes, I'm sure of that. Speed is ready, just a couple of seconds faster, so those links will be able to run away. Snute already
He's droning.
Yeah, squeezing out his first extra drones. But he's probably not going to overdo it. It's probably like 2 drones and then links again.
And it's Snute, of course he's going to overdo it.
Okay, well, so far you're right.
And Bly actually drones behind this as well.
Snute gets a pretty decent fight here against the links.
Bly is not ready for this.
As long as you don't lose drones. Lost 1. Legal, Bly! That could have been disastrous.
Oh, on the other side of the map as well, Snute traded a couple links for 2 Banes from Bly.
Snute is so far handling this very well. Both Banes are low on HP, but obviously that doesn't matter that much against the link. Maybe you can split up 1 link. Oh, wow, he split up 1 link, but he put 3 links on the Bane. I meant the other way around. Solid early game by Snute, who's now obviously in an advantageous position, as he's on 23 drones already. But of course it's 1 base against 1 base, so this is not a massive advantage, but it's a solid advantage for Snute.
Interesting matchup. Everything's blowing up left and right. Snute going for the second hatchery as well as Evo chamber. Probably for some upgrades there. Whereas Bly still no expansion.
Yeah, there's a good chance we're going to see upgrade against Dropalord again. Even though I think it's a little harder to sneak a Dropalord into your opponent's main.
What race did Bly play in Warcraft 3?
Undead.
Maybe that's why I don't like to expand. Undead is not really a race that you expand with in Warcraft 3.
And Bly was not a bad Undead player. Got pretty good, especially towards the latest stages of Warcraft 3.
He's probably gonna drop again, yeah. Snute, he has a little bit of quick spread towards the right-hand side of his main base, but no Overlord there to spot that early.
Well, Bly is morphing his Dropalord, so he's gonna try it again, but I said it's a little harder on Newkirk. You know, it's a little slightly longer travel distance towards that main mineral line. It's also more obvious that Snute can spot it. I mean, I say that, but so far Snute has not spotted it yet. Snute is active with links on the other side of the map. Bly is gonna... These 2 defensive Banes though from Snute. If they connect with the 4 Banes of Bly, that would be disastrous. He's gonna send them to the natural instead. No, he's gonna send them to the main. What are you doing, Bly? Okay, it's 3 for 3.
Yeah, 1 single baning will never do anything there, other than weaken a couple of these drones. Good defense for Snute, who's now a solid amount of drones ahead. He's making more mass links starting here for Bly.
I think Bly doesn't want to have the same thing happen again. Snute going up to 3 hatcheries now over here on the left top side.
He starts +1 missile.
Yeah, so maybe he still wants to go for like a layer attack, because he started a relatively quick layer. I think he just wants to make sure that he doesn't go too greedy and ends up losing his queens like in the last game.
Yeah. It's so weird that he made links then. Like I thought he might have just been needed to drone up, maybe. Every time that happens, by the way, a Baneling blows up from Bly.
Well, that's not supposed to happen, Todd. It's time a bit sloppy. Snute is getting his own Roach Warren. +1 is almost done for Snute, so there's a good chance that he's going to go for that swell of links, roughly 18 to 20. See if he can get anything done, but against the 2-base Zerg...
Yeah, I think Snute is probably very confident in his macro from there. If he just takes the 3rd base that he's taking now and from there just masses Roaches with a way earlier 3rd, he's going to get way more and then power through, I think.
Wow, Bly's making a lot of defensive Banes. Gives us the idea that he wants to go for a Roach Bane attack. Maybe no layer this time, maybe just +1. I mean, Newkirk is not the largest map out there, especially not from base to base. So I think Todd is going to be a mass Roach Bane attack, no layer for Bly. That seems to be making sense.
Why would he
here.
show the Banes already then?
He made so many. I'm not exactly sure. One Overlord. Let's see. He's just going to put some Link Bane pressure. Maybe Bly is expecting Snute to expand here, but...
Maybe he's going for the Seeker's Mind game. 3 Overlords on the way. Look, Bly goes forward and then at the last second he turns around.
He's distracting him. Oh! That's gonna be successful. 4 is something, but with all these Banes he needs more. Wow, and he actually gets into the natural though. A lot of low HP drones.
Yeah, 10 drones have died just now for Snute, but he's still a few walkers ahead. And he has a way earlier 3rd base. Bly is gonna take his own 3rd base from there.
Bly is doing these attacks that just seem so weird, right? He's just sending in Banelings.
Feels like they're not supposed to work, but I guess Snute misreacted a little bit.
Snute getting a layer now. Bly is not getting a layer yet. He's getting a lot of Roaches instead.
I think also we play Protoss, right? So if you see a couple Banelings head across the map, we just picture like something that is going to be very easy to get rid of. Whereas in ZvZ, you're always trading against Banelings at best, unless you have Roaches that can get perfect positioning and interceptions.
See what Snute decides to do there. He did spot this hedge go down almost immediately with his links, and that's obviously a pretty big deal. +1 Carapace. It's almost done as well. Snute's going to get a massive upgrade advantage. I mean, he doesn't have missile attacks yet. Finally a layer on the way, Todd, for Bly. But it's quite layer. Bly seems super far behind.
Yeah, on everything.
Yeah.
And like I said, I really think that from there, Snute, he knows that he already has his ideal saturation. He can just mass Roaches.
Reinforce with links as well, because he has +1.
Yeah. Having a 3rd base so earlier when you are as good a Zerg as Snute, it means that you can just keep on injecting and your production is going to be massive. You're always going to take a supply lead.
Yeah, this is going to be very difficult for Bly to hold. Does Bly have any Banelings left? No, he does not. There are 0 Banes on the map for Bly, and there's going to be a lot of links reinforcing for Snute. And these links have 1/1 upgrades. This would be a very impressive hold if Bly is able to get the job done. He does have that spine there. That's a good Baneling connection. It almost seems like Bly is just giving up. He's not moving his units at all. The Ravages are very exposed, and Snute's links are about to show up. And I mean, there's a lot of extra Roaches for Bly, but Snute is still in a very sweet position here. All of the Ravages have died for Bly as well.
Yeah, there might just be too much here from Snute. He's just powering through. And Bly doesn't seem like he has enough. He's going to have to pull drones. They're going to start dying left and right. Corrosive Bile almost landing. But I don't think dodging that is going to change too much here for Bly, who manually targets on some of these Ravagers. Good job by him trying to salvage the situation. There's just going to be too much.
These links from Snute are a little too strong. Snute being a lot more successful with his own 12 pulls against our Ukrainian Zerg. Dropped the first map, but looked very, very dominating and convincing in map number 2 and 3 here on Newkirk. As Bly is trying to hang in there with his last few Roaches, but this is not going to be enough. There's no answer to the stream of units Snute has coming across the map. GG! Snute now 1 map away from making it into top 4 of WCS EU Challenger as well. And Todd, that would mean that you got the perfect top 4 prediction.
Yeah, I really gambled with that one, didn't I?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of made fun of you that you sure as hell rolled the dice predicting Sarol, Showtime, Nurture, and Snute, but...
They were the top 4 seeds as well going to the tournament, so...
But it's always easier said than done, right? Like, being the favorite is one thing, but delivering...
Not in this order, though. I think Sarol was seed 1. He can still win. Nurture was seed 2, so it's not possible to have both of them in these positions, right?
For the people who wonder how were the seedings determined, they were done by WCS points, and obviously both Nurcho and Serral had a good run at the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. Both made the playoffs. Serral quarterfinals, Nurcho round of 16 against Stats. Or maybe that was quarterfinals as well, actually. I think it was quarterfinals. So that's why they are top seeds in going into this tournament.
Seems like Paladino Terminal, by the way, in Mirror comes out more often than not.
Yeah, and ZvZ. It's like Paladino is a map that I think mostly the Protosses hate the most, because early game shenanigans just, there's a lot of them. Terran is probably not too fond of it either, but it can work.
Basically everybody hates it.
Oh, the Zorgs. I mean, the Zorgs are embracing it. But this could also be one of these moments where Snute maybe prefers to veto a 4-player map against someone like Bly. You know, like an Underground or a Cactus Valley.
I can't blame him.
There's definitely some random element there. And then Bly is like, well, I've got to build on Paladino, and people would veto 4-player maps against me because of my image. So that is cool.
That would be smart, actually, if you went about it like that. I mean, best of 5s are not super common, but I think it's better too.
Yeah.
There is less volatility than in best of 3.
And in general, we used to say that best of 5s in Legacy of the Void don't last nearly as long as best of 5s in Heart of the Swarm and Wings, but after the things that we saw so far in this tournament, Todd, I am not 100% sure that statement is still super true.
I think the level of everybody keeps rising, so people learn to not die against early on attacks and stuff like that, and not fall that far behind.
And then they stop making dumb attacks, right? Like you see that pretty often in moments where both players have a strong army, but they just know that there is going to be a very strong defender's advantage, especially with certain unit compositions and overcharge and stepping on creep. Or running into bunkers and sieged up tanks and liberators. So people will just not do it. They get better at it. They get better at identifying the situation, and you're going to see longer games. It took a while until Legacy of the Void made it to that phase, but I definitely feel that these long games are not going to be, a rare occurrence. If anything, I think we're going to see it more and more often.
Bly, I have to say, has been very stubborn with his one-base play here so far. If Snute wants to, he could even play a little bit safer than he has been so far, because even last game, like, what put him a little bit in danger is that he over-drones a little bit. Just get some more units, because if it reaches the late game, even if you're Snute and you're behind, I do think that he's going to be able to come back no matter what against Bly, who's not as experienced in those macro situations. But this is map number 4, guys, and Snute is on match point and he's in the top left-hand side of the map. 6 save, what's up? I know you were looking at me for the double intro.
That was good. And over here on the right bottom side, Tournament Live is on the line for our Ukrainian Zerg. Maybe not on the grease fire anymore. It's Bly.
Great observing, Roddy.
Thank you. I feel like I've been doing all right.
Not quite Calais level, but he does the job.
Claris. Can't even tie my shoelaces when it comes to observing, mate.
He was in chat earlier, he's watching.
I mean, he's a great desk host, he's a great caster. That observing, a little shaky.
Bly again with an early on extractor, man. I almost want a ZvZ against Bly and be like, all right, come to my base, there's 3 spine crawlers.
So
and he still kills me.
But Snute is playing it very differently though, Todd. He's playing gasless.
Yeah.
It's a tiny bit risky because he's kind of putting himself in a position where he says, all right.
No, it's just late gas. Because there's a small ramp, I guess, that he can wall off with queens.
But I feel that often, small window is all that Bly needs. He's obviously gone up against this build as well. So at least Snute is going to have quicker access to the queen and to the Zerglings. But this is still, there's a lot of distance between that main and the natural. And also what's very important in scenarios like this is that there's a lot of distance between this ramp and this hatch. So putting 2 queens on the ramp is not going to protect your hatchery at all, which is the case in some of the other maps. So I'm not 100% sure, Todd.
Yeah, maybe you can let that die though. The natural base.
Yeah, but why would you open up like this then?
No, I mean later, like first try and defend it, but then use it for the couple larvas that you get extra. It's almost like he's trying to bait something that was gonna happen anyway, so maybe you have a good point. Bly, look at this. Sneaking 2 links inside of the main base to morph them on the right-hand side. This is sick.
Yep, and Snute has not picked up on this yet, and there's a good... Oh,
in the smoke.
You can just see that Bly has been in this scenario so many times. Does get a cancel on this hatch immediately. There is a spine, though, and it's very important for Bly that he picks up on the fact that there is... I mean, this is really good, because like Snute is super protected on the north side, but these Banes are going to come in from the south side. And he's going to use the spine crawl as well to focus on the links. Well done, Bly. But good reaction this time by Snute. Excellent.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be losing that much there.
He didn't lose anything. Well, 3 rounds now. Ah, that's 14 against 18 now. Still gets a little bit risky. Queen is low on HP.
Yeah, but he's got a Baneling Nest. So +2 queens, so it's going to be an easy defense from there. Snute can re-expand quite easily, but not before redroning a little bit back up.
Do you think it's going to be easy to expand with just the Banes, but no speed though? I mean, Snute's going to try, so... I don't know. Bly is, in general, pretty good in these early games. I highly doubt he's going to suicide all his links into 1 or 2 Banes.
Well, the thing is, there is a spine in the main, so he can use both the queens on the natural.
That's interesting. It's like a pylon block in ZvZ.
Installing another.
It's so sick. I love it. He's blocking the edge.
That actually bought a lot of time there.
Yeah, I know. That's like 15-20 seconds early game. It's a pretty damn big deal. We have the eBay block, we have the pylon block, and now we've got the Ling morphing into a Bane block. I'm sure the Zerg players will say everything that Zerg has is weaker, including our blocks, but it's still nice, Todd.
Yeah, that definitely did a little bit here for Bly, was ahead a little bit in walkers. Okay, now he's got back up a little bit. Got an earlier second base on the way, earlier speeds. Good job so far by the Ukrainian Zerg, who in this game looks like him. I was gonna say he might macro a little bit more, but we've got a Roach One on the way.
I mean, this is Paladino. If he decides to be super aggressive here, I honestly don't mind him. If you guys just joined us, this is a very big series. Top 4 in this tournament matters a lot. Of course, there is difference in prize money between 1 to 4, but the top 4 will get guaranteed seats and all expenses paid trips to WCS Austin. That will be happening later this month. I think it's 27th to 29th of April, but I could be off by a couple of days. But keep that weekend free, because that's going to be a fantastic weekend of StarCraft 2. Austin last year was fantastic. We had a lot of fun there. Can't wait to do it all over again, Todd.
I wasn't there last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You weren't in Austin?
No.
How come? What happened?
I don't know. You had so much fun, you tell me.
That's why we had so much fun.
Oh, man. Oh, my God.
You made it too easy, Todd.
I see how it is.
No, we always have fun with you as well, Johan.
Have fun watching UFC in your hotel room alone tonight.
Oh, that's okay. I'll just invite a Lester. Roach Warren on the way, Evolution Chambers on the way, layer halfway done.
Oh, okay, so this mass road is revealed, and now Snute is going to know that this is headed for him, but I don't know if he can get enough units on time. His Roach run is not finished yet. He's going to start a lot of spine crawlers. It's so funny because these Roaches, they're so slow. Bly is looking at them. He's probably like, can you please get there faster so I can win this game? And Snute is thinking, can you please get there slower so I can get enough units at home to defend against this?
Yeah, the Link Scout was obviously crucial. The Lynx identifying that all these Roaches are running across the map. But can Snute muster out enough Roaches? It's going to be very, very hard. A couple of decent transfuses there, but the spine still falls. Banelings, well, good splits again. Well, a couple of Banelings will go down. Snute's making 6 drones at once. The spines, they finished up, but just too late, Todd.
Yeah, they take so much damage as they finish. They were just not ready on time, and I think Bly might be able to get through this here with this massive Roach army that is got on the natural of Snute.
Wow. I think we're going to a decider. This is going to be incredibly hard. Bly doubling the amount of army supply of Snute at one last spine on top of the ram. That's supposed to be the Sparta spine, Todd. But this time, 300 men were not enough. Or 1 spine in this case. Last few drones will get picked off. Snute trying to do whatever he can. Just made a few too many drones. Got a tiny bit too greedy. And Bly with his hatchery-based attack on this Roaches, Lynx and Banes. Got the job done. Didn't waste a second there. The moment it got scouted. Ran across the map. It's going to even up the series. And we're going to Game 5.
Very close series in this tournament. A lot of them, man.
I know. Europe's best are evenly matched. I'm super impressed with Bly's run, though. I mean, Bly made it past Harstem in the first round of the upper bracket. Then he lost against Showtime, but, I mean, we all lose against Showtime. Dropped to the lower bracket, took care of Drogo. Now, there is a small note there. How do you call it? Asterisk, right? Like the little star.
Yeah.
That Drogo was playing those games from the
Asterisk.
Korean server, so obviously that's going to be very tough for Drogo. But then Bly also defeated Elazer 3-2 in his ZvZ series, and I think that is very impressive, especially because Elazer just defeated Namchar the round before that, 3-0.
He is a pretty good ZvZ himself.
Yep.
2-2 now, though. If going into this tournament, you had told me that Bly was going to qualify for Austin, I would have been like, you're out of your mind.
He could ruin your prediction here, Todd. And let's not forget that Snute last year at Austin had a pretty damn good run. He made it to the semifinals. In the end, he lost against Neep. That was kind of the first time that Neep showed us that he can do it on LAN as well. It's so funny, right? That's a year ago, and it feels like ancient history. Because
in esports years, it's like 6 years at least.
Basically, we're all dogs, Todd.
Yeah, pretty much.
Last game
Very
is
smart dogs that play the best game.
Last game is going to be played on other grounds, game 5. So that is one of these 4-player maps, Todd. There is a chance that maybe Snute vetoed Cactus Valley. The other map that we didn't see. Putting myself on.
It's very hard to pick
Proxima?
a right build, by the way,
We
on
didn't
this
see
map.
Proxima, right? In this ZvZ series? No.
What did I say about questions?
I mean, no, we just, no. I think, yeah. So Proxima and Cactus were the vetoes.
Can you imagine like how hard it must be in a decider match like this for Snute to pick a build on a map like this? Like, what would you go for?
I would probably go...
You roll the dice all the time. What do I ask?
No, I'd go pool. Like, I think if you would do the exact same build as you did last game, but then you do it on honor grounds, where you go pool, hatch, I think that makes a lot of sense. But Paladino is such a small map that I'm just not sure in which scenario you get anything out of that early
It's funny because like it feels like the queens in the ramp should defend easily on a map like this, where you got like an easy pocket expansion. But Bly drops a whole lot with this.
And also, this is not a small ramp, right? And you're going to have to push the creep forward a little bit. So it's going to be a tense one, guys. This is going to be a Ukrainian Zerg Bly, or will Snute claim that last spot? We already know that Serral, Showtime, and Nurcho got the direct seats. And all expenses paid trip to WCS Austin. They'll be getting that barbecue, maybe together with In Control.
Maybe even for free catering.
Yeah, but
there might be catering.
Maybe it will be Salt Lake catering.
What is that? Is that a chain, a brand?
Yeah, it is. It's the spot in Austin.
You went there and it was good?
Yes, it's really good.
What did you have?
What I didn't have, Todd. Like, I don't know. I saw meat and I approved. And it tasted great. And they had a lot of sauce. That's the best thing about America. It's like
barbecue sauce, right?
Yes, unlimited sauce, everything. They have so many different ones. It's great, Todd. It's a great time to be alive.
I can feel the enthusiasm as you're talking about this.
Over here on the left bottom side, we're looking at the main base. Was the man who can make Todd's prediction come true. It's Snute. Was definitely one of the favorites to make it top 4. Of course, there is always a good chance that even if Snute doesn't make it here, that he will still send himself, or Team Liquid will send him to Austin to participate in that open bracket.
And his opponents, he's in love with that one build here. Playing as the Blue Zerg, it is Bly.
I thought you were going to sing for us, Todd. He was in love with the cocoa.
What?
Isn't that a song? I'm in love with the cocoa.
What does it have to do with this build?
Nothing. But you just started off that I thought you were going to go there. I was like, man.
There is a sick remix of that song. I shall give you later. It's in my playlist.
The gaming one?
Yeah.
All right. So Snute is taking... he's doing... I actually think this is maybe even better than what I suggested. So he's going pool, gas, and a slightly later hatch. But this is still more economic because he got a couple extra drones out.
Yeah.
And that's not that risky because obviously there is travel time, right? By the time that these units from Bly make their way across the map, if Snute just makes links immediately, which is exactly what I expect him to do, he should always be even on links because even if Bly has a few more links, these links, you know, they'll be traveling. And it's quite the journey from the right bottom side to the left bottom side of Underground. So I think this is a perfect build order choice by Snute. I couldn't be more happy to see this if you are a Snute fan.
I have to say, Bly, as much as we expect this out of him, I'm a little bit surprised that not even in one of the games he tried to play like the sick mind game of going economic. Maybe he tried it in like some recent series, and then he just got cheesy. I was like, all right, you guys want to play like this? No more macro attempt.
Uh-oh. What is Bly doing?
I mean, he didn't see where Snute is so far.
He changed his mind. It seemed like he was going to the left top side.
He pulled back his overload at the bottom. Okay, no, I think he might have realized now.
Oh, yeah, he probably saw, maybe he saw the overload from... Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what happened. He pulled it back. But here we have it. I mean, it's currently 11 links against 6, but of course, a couple of these links on the side. Snute actually sending 2 links to the other side of the map. I think it's a tiny bit risky because you need every unit at home with these Banes already morphing. The Spine is late this time, Todd. Oh my god, I think Snute is in trouble.
Yeah, Bly's, he's got a ton of Banelings here. 5 in total, just a couple links. Let's see if Snute can get that defense.
This is going to be very difficult. I'm very worried over here for Snute. He needs to split like an absolute god, and so far that's not good. That's not that good as he loses. Oh my god, 7 drones already. It's 8 against 13. It's better than 1. But this is still a lot of economic damage already.
Yeah, he's got Quints behind this to really help with the next defense.
I don't understand. These 2 links, they would have been so useful at home. Like, it may just seem like just 2 links. Oh, 2 more Banes more. But good snipes. Ah, gets 1 Bane there. Okay, I mean, 9 against 16 is actually playable with 2 edge against 1. Look how low HP this 1 Queen is. The links want to get it. Will they get it? Oh, 6 save by Snute. What a save.
Very good job, yeah. Last second pull on the drones. I was, again, flabbergasted by your high pitch, Kev.
But that was sick, though. That's very big.
6 save.
I'm glad you're having so much fun.
I was always told that you can't recover from this if the opponent already has the second hatchery up. So as Bly here, you have to go for a follow-up attack.
Speed against speed, yeah. I mean, the 2 drone advantage is not that meaningful, but Bly is actually just going to expand himself. Maybe he can find
He made a bunch of links, though.
Yeah, so maybe he can make something happen with these links, and that would be enough damage to just take it into a macro game. Because right now, even though they're dead even on workers, if they both don't do anything, then Snute eventually is going to be 6, 7, 8 workers ahead because of the fact that this hatchery is already up and running. And Bly knows that, so Bly is going to morph 4 Banes near the Zelnaga Watchtower, but Snute is going to scout it. Still impressed by that save on the Queen, that was awesome. It's like, Bly saw it, he went for it, Snute saved it.
Alright, here we go. Round 2. The Solin is going to move right in there. Queen's in position in the spine, kind of making it easy so far for Snute to defend.
Yeah. That was not very intimidating at all. Like, those 3 Banes didn't get anything done.
Walker counts about even, though.
Yeah, but that's going to skyrocket soon. Like, it looks even, but soon you'll see that Snute is actually going to pull.
The Queens haven't been ejecting because they were on the ramp for Snute.
They will pull 6, 7 workers ahead, Todd. Don't you worry. It's definitely going to happen. As Snute is making...
Oh, he forces links as well. This is so smart. Snute realizing he has more links. Goes across the map and he's forcing way more links from a Bly who would love to be droning up, I think, right now. Even though don't take me literally on the statements. Maybe he stops making units.
Bly is not overreacting, so he's definitely doing that right. Snute is going up to 3 bases, so there's one more advantage that our Liquid Zerg will have going for himself. I definitely feel like the ball is in Snute's corner, you know. I think things are going all right for him. I think it's up to Bly to make a difference. Bly starts his layer. I thought I saw a layer for Snute as well. Did he just cancel it?
What's up with Snute's APM, by the way? Like, it spikes really high at times.
There's a chance that he maybe uses some modifier. I don't know, like APM has been a little weird over the last few years. Because nobody has like 1200 APM in these fights. But
I don't think he spiked that high, but like 500 to 700.
well, he's a very fast boy. I like the Overlord spread now as well, just in case that Bly is going to go for one of those Drop-A-Lord plays again that we've seen him go for so often.
How much APM you got?
Average?
Yeah.
Season average is like 190, 185, something like that. I'm an old man, Todd. Soldier says I'm not a young man anymore. So I am quite pleased with my Protoss APM.
You're not even 30 yet.
Yet. 1 month away. Spire being morphed in for Bly. In the back of his main, while Snute is actually getting a Roach Warren. I kind of like this for Bly, though. I feel like...
Yeah, this is very risky, though, but he might need to take risks here, right? Because he's behind.
He has absolutely been behind. And if he can go up to 3 bases while playing Spire and get a couple of Overlords for free, maybe get a Queen that's by herself or so, that would be super nice.
Snute in the past has been... I don't know what's the right way to say it, but he's been caught by stuff like this because he didn't scout enough. Now, do we see an Overseer and a Scout? Because as far as Zerglings go, he hasn't been really sending anything across the map for a while now. And against a Spire, the earlier you can see there is a Spire on the way, the better it is for you.
Yeah, he's making a lot of Roaches, but I think that's a tiny bit too late, right? With the Spire, like 80% done.
Yeah, I mean, we never see Mutas fly across the map in ZvZ and kill all drones and then, like, one of the Zergs being in a ton of trouble because they've got Queens, they can get Spores at the last second. The real threat, though, is to
Oh.
counter-attack. The counter-attack potential by Snute is massive.
How did this happen? Oh, Snute knows. I guess he saw them run by. Because he's clicking here. He's going to find these banes. He's like, I know, Bly. Maybe he can get the cancel on this one bane. No, he doesn't. Does this one roach have enough firepower? Yes, it does. Well done. Man, well, Snute is making so many roaches that I feel that he's just going to ignore the Mudas.
Yeah.
Oh my. Dude, well, that's risky, though. Like, imagine if Bly gets like 6-7 spines here, which is already what he's doing. And he's going to just make as many Mudas as he can.
Roddy, look at the supply, though.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
doesn't lie.
no,
Never
but
lies.
you know what also doesn't lie? That roaches can't shoot up.
Queens can.
Yeah, but he's not going to run queens across the map.
No, he's going to defend at home and then killing on the other side.
Well, let's see. The Mudas are going to start picking up a couple of drones. Bly is aware that these roaches are running across the map. He has spines, but he doesn't have that many. Losing a Muda is actually a really big deal. He's not in a position where he can afford to lose Mudas. He's going to send them home now. How much damage will Bly... Bly needed more spines than this, by the way.
Roddy, the soup never lies. And those roaches are going to move right in there, take out a static defense instantly. There can be a couple Mudas, it's not going to matter. There's just too many roaches for Snute here, who wants to go to Austin. You can already get your Esta, mates. I think you're going.
I really think that Bly should have put the roaches, the Mudas on top of the roaches immediately, rather than going for those drones. I think that was a mistake. Because yeah, he killed a couple, but obviously he's going to lose way more at home. I mean, he's down 15 workers now. Okay, there's still a lot of roaches on top of all these drones. Snute ain't done yet. Snute can obviously like send some links across the map as well to kill even more drones. I think that Bly should have started attacking the roaches over here when he had his Mudas out. Don't you think that would have been so much better?
I don't think it would have mattered too much, but maybe it would have been better, yeah, than fighting queens with Mutas, for sure.
I mean, he has a very decent Muta count now, but he only has 13 drones left. That's a big problem. He did keep all his hatcheries alive, but he ended up losing the spy. So the amount of Mutas that he currently has, that's the amount of Mutas that he's going to have to secure his ticket to Austin with. But Snute is just going to make some extra queens. He can send more drones across the map as well. Yeah, this Mutas are good, Todd, but I highly doubt they're this good. There's a Spore there and 2 queens, and that's not a fight that 12 Mutas want to take, especially not with extra queens coming. I think Snute has done it. I think Snute has done enough damage on the other side of the map to secure a top 4 finish in WCS Austin EU Challenger, and that means that he will claim that last direct seat. And that's great news for Liquid. It's great news for Snute, even though he's going to end up losing a few more drones, but we were talking about the comeback of the century earlier. This would also be one of the craziest comebacks that we have ever seen if Bly can somehow get this done.
Yeah, I'm surprised we don't have a Hydra then, actually, from Snute. He might just make... Yeah, he might just go across the map with this Mass Queen.
Which is, like, I think, like almost the only way that he could potentially end up losing.
I'm surprised we don't see a Nidus, because like marching across the map with queens is like the saddest, slowest march ever.
It's just a tiny bit risky as well, but I mean, there's nothing on the ground for Bly. Bly can't fight it right now. The only thing he can hope for is pick off a queen one at a time, but Snute in general is too good to let that happen. That shouldn't happen. 2 spores is too much. Bly's gonna make a couple of roaches.
Yeah, he's getting his own roaches. Like you said, if he could maybe get a couple of queens, snipe them out of position, and then kill all the queens of Snute, maybe he could hold on, but that army on the ground, he needs to worry about that as well. There is so many transfuses available that I just don't see Snute ever losing this.
No. I mean, Snute would have to mess up tremendously for this attack to somehow not work. And so far, he is not messing up. Bly is again getting spines. He is hanging in there. I really love the never give up spirit we've seen from all the players so far in this tournament. It just shows that they really are taking this very serious. Fighting till the bitter end. We saw that with Snute's games against Utermo in some of them. We saw it with Snute against Zero as well. And now we see Bly trying to do whatever he can. But with these 10, 11 queens, how many queens are we looking at? Running up this ramp and all that transfuse energy available, I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, Snute's just got too much here. Bly is going to have to accept here that he's not going to be qualifying directly for Austin and have an all-expense pay trip. It's going to be Snute that makes it. Can still go there and play in the open bracket if he wants to, but he was so close in the last final map and game as well against one of the favorites here in Snute.
Ooh, I really wonder how this game would have played out, Todd. If he, instead of 3 spines, he got 6 spines over here, and the Muta start attacking the roaches the moment they left. I think it could have changed, man. You take out a lot of roaches faster, you're gonna lose a lot less drones. The Spines could have bought maybe a little more time. But now Snute is going to be the one to claim the top 4 finish. So we know our 4 direct qualifiers from Europe, 4 of the very best, I think, that we have to offer. 4 of the favorites coming into this tournament. The top 4 seeded players.
Seeds were done right, I guess. We had 4 liquid players at the start of this tournament as well. Only one of them makes it. We had 4 Polish players, I think it was, and only one of them makes it as well. So it's going to be Finland, Germany, Poland, and Norway.
Super international top 4. Not a single nation necessarily dominating.
Yeah.
So that's going to be it for Bly, unfortunately, as we can take a look at the bracket as he gets eliminated. So that means that we are getting ready for one of our last best of 5s here. Well, we've got at least, we've got 3 more. We've got 2 more in the lower bracket, then we got our overall grand final. Snute versus Nurcho. Now that's a rivalry that has happened many, many times. Todd, I can already see you looking. Talk to me some numbers, because I know that these two have a very rich history.
So many times.
Yeah,
Snute is 31 and 27 in series. Okay. That's 53%. And 86, 88 in maps. He's actually down in maps.
Down in
by
maps,
2 maps.
But up in series. So if Snute wins, he wins close series, and if he loses, he gets swept.
Yeah, I guess most of the time it was like that.
Well, we're going to head over to a very small break, and after that, we'll be back with another ZvZ Top 4 WCS Austin EU Challenger. Snute versus Nurcho coming up next.